There.
Yes. Oh, that's a nice. Oh,
Oh, you and your nice fish, small
it's
fish.
not a.
It's hilarious.
I was like, oh, that's a nice fish. No.
Oh, you look, only got about 4 feet of air on that one.
Oh.
The Coast to Coast Show is brought to you by Opro's Fly Fishing, Orvis, and Scientific Anglers.
Calgary, the Bow River, it was a dream of mine to fish this renowned water.
À Calgary, notre premier arrêt était Bow River Troutfitters directement dans le centre-ville. Si jamais vous passez par là, c'est un arrêt qui vaut absolument le détour. Le fly shop est très bien situé, seulement à quelques pas de la rivière, et en plus, ils offrent un service de guide en driftboat. On était accueillis par Chris et Elliott qui y travaillent depuis longtemps.
I'm Elliot Barnes and I manage the shop here. I've worked for this shop on and off for the past 10 years, but 4 years in my last stint, so yeah, I've been around.
Yeah. I'm Chris Nichols. I work here at the shop part-time and I handle like our social media. We've been really kind of kicking up our YouTube game and doing a lot of more online presentations, so that's been my role here, and yeah, it's been fantastic.
There was a time when Calgary was pretty bustling downtown. A lot of oil and gas money, a lot of professionals. Just, you know, there's a couple 100,000 people that are in and out of downtown a day. So, you know, that was the primary driver for moving the shop, which was founded in '95 up near McMahon Stadium. It was definitely a favorite location for a lot of folks, but moved down. Briefly, we were on 8th Avenue, but we weren't happy with the location, the frontage. So in 2012, we moved into this location, and you know, the past 8 years have done well by us, and we've just continued to grow the business. So you know, we're weathering a bit of a storm right now. We're doing well, and we're just hoping that you know, we start to see that turn around in the next, well, hopefully the short to medium term. Anyway, so.
Short term would be nice to really
term,
see the change
term.
happen. Yeah, it's a unique location because, of course, one of the things that we're going to probably see a lot with you guys in this trip is just the Bow River is one of these rivers that starts in the mountains. You can fish it in the mountains as a pristine mountain stream, but then it hits the urban area of Calgary and it just becomes this big productive fishery, right? We have this blue ribbon fishery. Like 3 blocks away, you can go catch fish, right, with skyscrapers above you. It's a very unique experience.
It's a very international city.
That too.
Major airport, lots of business centers here. You're never going to see a river like this flowing through a city of 1.5 million people. It's just, it's an anomaly, basically, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great history if you read up on it. You know, some of David Thompson being around when he was on his way to the West Coast looking for the, you know, path to the Pacific. So there's a lot of history around the Bow River. It's a great city just on the banks of it, and you know, we just think that being a downtown shop and basically being the only one, it positions us quite well for not only, you know, the people that are in and out of town every day that want to get their shopping done before they hit the water on the weekends, but we get a lot of the tourism as well. You know, there's a lot of major hotels just right close to the shop here. So yeah, that's the primary driver for being in this location, and I stand by it. I think it's just going to keep growing. But yeah, we've got a little more work to do to get around
sure.
this little roadblock here. So.
Yeah, you know, a couple of little worldwide events that have been making things a little interesting.
Oh, what
but
was that be?
That's the industry, right? Yeah, we always move with it, roll with it. But you know, it's. I think we do really good with the space that we have here. You know, we carry a lot of products, a lot of different brands, and we really want to be sort of a one-stop shop. Someone can come in here and get fully outfitted, get all the gear they need, and go have a good day on the river. And of course, our guides. We've got some of the best guides in Calgary. So yeah, we're really.
Yeah, we're knowledgeable, and people really. One thing that we hear a lot is people really appreciate our customer service.
Yeah.
So you know that's definitely works to our favor as well. But we kind of just, as Chris alluded to, we punch above our weight, right?
Sure.
We carry a lot of inventory. You know, we have a really good online store and online presence. And you know, people have come to know us as a bit more of a destination shop now. You know, there's always going to be people who think, no way downtown, and then they call around and they realize, oh, these guys have it, what I'm looking for, right?
Yeah.
And they have, you know, the knowledge and the expertise in it, so they come and buy from us and they come back. So
Yeah.
You know, we're really fortunate. You know, the Bow River is the Bow. And it's kind of like the king of the western trout rivers, at least in Canada. And you know, you go down into Montana and you tell them, oh, we're from Calgary, and they say, why are you here? You got the Bow River to fish, right? So you know, the Bow is fantastic, but we've got a lot of great streams just northwest of the city, and then of course southwest. Most people think, you know, southwest, you know, native cutthroat, bull trout, stuff like that. Lots of rainbows and browns.
Yeah.
But you know, some of the spring creeks just north of town, shorter drive actually than you would go south. But just going north, you're into a lot of really nice streams, less pressure, some very nice fish. Maybe not the overall numbers of fish, but really great fishing. Yeah.
I think a lot of people also fail to appreciate, you know, they come here, they think about the Bow, they think of the mountains, it's beautiful, but to the east, our prairie game is really strong too. I mean, Alberta's blessed with lots of reservoirs. I mean, we're just out this spring, I mean, big pike, big walleye, you know, hard fighting fish, and that's also a really popular part of the sport. A lot of people are getting into that. Every spring I'm out there for pike.
And every spring,
I love that game.
more and more people come to realize that fishery exists because the rivers blow out.
Sure.
Well, what I mean?
Perfect timing,
Get
right?
your 8 or 9 weight out and go sling some wet socks for pike. And you know, inadvertently catch 7 to 10 pound walleye as a bycatch, right?
Yeah.
Fortunately, you can't have a shore lunch, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anyways,
Yeah, I know we're blessed here to have like such good fisheries, many different kinds of fish. I mean, grayling, you can find brown trout, rainbow trout, bull trout, pike,
lake trout. There's a friend of mine just sent me a
picture.
picture the other day of a 29.5-inch lake trout that he caught in the Bow. And I mean, obviously that came from the Banff area, just made its way trundling downstream because during high water, inevitably some make their way out of the system and into the Bow. He caught that fish on the south end of town. You know, normally guys catch them up closer to the tailwater at Bear's Paw, but this was a really good. I'll show you the picture after. But it's a, you know, 10-pound lake trout. Right. So, and there's 10-pound bull trout in there. There's a bigger fish, but big pike in the Bow. You know, there's just about every kind of you know, western game fish in there.
Pretty much, actually.
Especially
it's a very neat
as you progress downstream. But you know, here in town, you know, we're all about rainbows and browns.
For sure.
That's the big game. So, yeah.
This Glidetime video is brought to you by Orvis.
There is a lot of insects both under the water and on the top of the water that have 2 tails hanging out of their butt. One thing that you need to know in order to make those tails split is that you can start up your thread just like normal and leave the tag end tailing behind. You will be using 2 fiber to make your tail. You want them to be as equal as possible. And you will be attaching them on the top of your hook. But if you simply leave them like this, they will stay together. So you want to be using your little tag end that you left trailing behind and use it to split your tail. So you will be folding it between your tail and it will be simply opening the tail section of your fly and it will remain open even if you fish it. The next morning we headed to meet our guide, Brent and Jeff, and they were waiting for us with Elliot and Chris as we were going to be taking down the river on a drift boat for a guided day. And we were really happy about when we saw the drift boat because it was going to be our first real experience in that type of boat that is typical to fly fishing.
Oh, I love that.
On est parti vers la mise à l'eau où il y avait beaucoup de trafic. On n'était pas les seuls à descendre la rivière cette journée-là.
When the boat was on the water, we just crossed the water in front of the drop, and Chris hooked up into a small trout. Everybody was telling us that this river was tough to fish, but we were off to a good start.
Dès qu'on est arrivé sur l'eau, ça a pris seulement quelques minutes à la fin qu'on commence à avoir des touches. Par contre, ça a pris plusieurs heures avant qu'on puisse réussir à mettre la main dessus.
Show me that loop.
Yeah, show me that loop.
There he is.
Oh! Did you feel him?
Floating down the river, we saw some really big trout eating on the surface, which was really cool. The Bow River is renowned for its upper fishing, and we was lucky enough to be on a drift boat on the Bow River during a day when they were crushing the dries.
Yeah.
A couple miles floating down the river, I finally hooked into my first Bow River rainbow trout. What a moment it was when she finally hit the net, as it was my first Bow River trout. I can't say it enough, it was my first one out of this iconic river.
Oh, I'm happy about this one. Oh, they are fat.
These fishing tips are brought to you by Scientific Anglers.
Casting weighted fly or split shot on your leader could be very hard. The risk to hit the rod tip of your fly rod is very high. To prevent this, it's very simple. On your back cast, stop at the same place that usual. On the forward stop, stop a little bit lower your rod tip, and it will create an open loop or a large loop.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's one right here in this water. You just roast the end.
C'est une des rivières les plus populaires au Canada. C'est encore le fun de voir que malgré la pression de pêche, qu'on peut y faire encore des pêches de cette qualité-là.
Oh, right there. Again?
Well, this one's good.
That's clean. Really clean.
The bow is the bow. There is nothing more we can say about it. It is the paradise when you float down on it, and when you lift a rainbow trout out of the water, it feels like it is a golden gut. Chris ended up catching another really nice rainbow trout during that day. For a hard day of fishing, let's say that it was an incredible one.
There it is right there.
I thought I lost it for sure. Just getting right at the boat. Not too big. Nice fish though. You're going to the river right after it. Woo!
Streamer! Nice.
Did I go right underneath them?
That would be cool.
It's a good fighter.
It is.
Sorry? There's that. There's that. Hey, nicely done, sir. That's a nice fish. Nothing wrong with that, eh? Nothing wrong with that.
Ça fait des années que j'entends parler de la fameuse Bow River, que c'est une rivière exceptionnelle, qu'elle est riche en poissons, qu'elle est riche en paysages. La Bow River, c'est la Bow River. Si tu es un pêcheur à la mouche, il faut absolument qu'un jour tu te payes ce trip-là. C'est vaut le détour dans l'Ouest canadien. On est très chanceux d'avoir pu pêcher la Bow River et ça termine notre voyage dans l'Ouest d'une façon exceptionnelle. Cap sur la prochaine destination.